Good morning, students. Welcome to our lecture series of Introduction to Python. Today we are going to explore loops. In today's lecture, we will cover the following topic. Our target today is to understand the concept of loop, types of loop, in which we will cover for loop, if else loop, while loop, and while else loop, and infinite loop. So, before beginning, let us understand the concept of loop. The main advantage of using computer for calculation when performing repetitive tasks is that they can compute faster than humans. The term loop is associated with repetitive calculation because a user-defined variable names the value and the computer repetitively, respectively, shuffles the variable value in a specified sequence generated by a condition. For example, a user might like to find the square root of first 10 integer. To perform this calculation, the user need to run the function of square root on the list of first 10 integer, which can be generated by range function. The list of integer can be stored in an integer, and this variable can put into a loop to perform operation to find the square root of each member of list one by one. So this is just a simple explanation of what actually the loop means. Let us now go further to our first loop, that is for loop. When same operation has to be carried out over given a set of data, for loop is a good choice. For example, suppose we simply want to print an individual number of list, then for loop can be a good choice. Let us explore it with an example in our code. Here, as you have seen, I have written a code in Google Colab platform. This is a particular program to illustrate for loop. Here you are seeing I have generated an variable a, which have a string number, a simple integer number, a float value, and a string, character, and this is string. Now I want to print what is the item in a. So I will run this code and the output will be generated. So the step by step, as the number of item, the number index number changes, the current item is being displayed. Okay. So as you can see in this current code, it is worth noting that most of the programming languages employ a logical statement defining the initialization, condition, and increment of running code. Python program employs a different strategy, where an array is employing a condition and the loop simply iterates on each member of the array. This is important for Python programs since Python is an interpretive language and is inherently slower in operations. Spending time checking condition each time the loop wishes to take a step is computationally costly. Hence, Python devises the computation in such a way that once a list or array is formed as per the defined condition, the loop can then run a list or array manner. In this way, the overall computation time can be reduced. As an example to understand the usage of for loop for numerical computation, let us suppose the Pythagorean number. Let us compute, that is a square plus b square is equal to c square. Now this can be accomplished using for loop, which is given in the next code, as you can see in this next code. In this particular Python code, the user in this particular Python code, as you can see, the user inputs a number denoting the maximum number for which the calculation will be performed. This ensures that the calculation has a proper AND condition without explicit definition. Okay. So let us to test this code. As you are seeing, I am asking as an input. Input is used by us, means by the programmer, to ask user the input number or input value. Now n is integer n, that is the number which has been input, plus 1, that is I am converting the value stored in a variable integer data type. Two loops has been defined as array, that is for a and for b, and for which c shall be computed. Here is a particular code that c square is equal to a square plus b square, and c is equal to integer of square root of c square. The output will be shown. Let us just run this code and check what is the output. Initially, as an input, for example, my maximum number is 100, and after entering, it will give me a list of Pythagorean number up to 100. Up to 100. The next number will be different. 8. So in this particular manner, this particular Pythagorean number code runs. Here we have usage to loop to define the array for a and b, and c is calculated as well. You can change the number up to 100, 200, 500,000 as per your requirement, and the output will be shown here. As an exercise, you can write a few more lines of the code to check if there are any prime number triplets as Pythagorean numbers or not. It could be a task for you. So let us go further to our next topic, that is if and if else. If else loop. As you are well aware in C, you have already gone through all this loop. It is just the division process. So in the previous example, we have seen about the for loop. Now we will go to see a particular code, a particular example to understand the if statement also. In this statement, in this particular code also about Pythagorean statement, if statement has already been used. It simply checks a condition, runs the loop if the condition result. If it is true, the loop will run. If it is false, the loop will be exited. That's the particular concept of if loop. When we talk about if else loop, when multiple conditions are needed to be checked in a sequence, these are required. If else loop are employed where the if condition results true boolean data and the statement is executed. Well, whereas when the false statement is executed, it will ask whether beside exiting the program, it will go for a particular condition of sequence. False boolean data, false condition has been triggered. Otherwise, the next condition is checked and the similar operation is performed recursively. This action performs unless all condition results in determine the false. Let us check example of if else loop using a particular simple example of calculating the shipping cost based on money spent on location. Here in this particular code, I have made a particular example in which we are going to calculate the shipping cost based on the location and the amount of shipping country. So this is a simple example. There is nothing much more hectic in this example. Maybe the lines are much list up is very much high, as you can see. So as in the previous example, here I have asked for input from the user that what is the amount of your online shopping is. The second is the area, means where the shopping is being done. This is between India or it is outside. If the area is I, and the second condition which I want to see, if the total amount, that is total amount is less than 500, less than 1000, or less than 1500, or else if it is something else, so the amount of cost is more than 1500, it will be the same. Here we have checked about the if loop, and within if loop there is if else loop. Else. All the concepts are same. In a similar manner for area outside India, if the string is I or string is O. Let us run this code and see what is the output. Okay, what is the total amount of annual shopping? Let me say it is 1500. What is it? 15,000. And which area? I am asking outside India. It is. Now let us again check what is this. For example, if my cost is 1,200, is also I am saying it is within India. Receiving cost of rupee as I have here. It is less than 1500 but is greater than 1000. So the cost will be similarly 250. So I hope you are understanding this particular example and it is helpful to you in understanding the concept of if-else. Moving further, let us check what is a while. As you are quite aware about it, this is just a simple. The while loop has this following syntax as you can see: while, and then there will be an expression, and after colon there will be a series of statements which has to be executed. Note that the statements are indented for grouping. This must be known that you understand by the word indented. It has to be spaced by a certain distance. The statements can be single or multiple action. The condition is logical expression. The loop iterated until the value of the logical expression is true. In all this code, it has been iterated until it is false. Once it becomes false, it will be 0. So as soon as it becomes false, the program control it passes to the next line. While loop plays an important role in the cases where looping must be skipped if the condition is not satisfied. Since none of the statement is executed if logical expression has false value. So while 1 it is true, thus all the statement is run. While it is false, it will die. Almost every looping function has this, which can be demonstrated in each and every example. The program which we will try here, we will demonstrate the usage of while loop. So here we have used in this particular code, we have used another module called time. As you can see on screen, you can clearly check this example. It is visible. Here another module, namely time, is used to time taken by 2 lines to execute it. The code for the execute means time taken by 2 lines of the code to execute. This time particular function help. So by writing help, time gives an important documentation regarding its usage. Beside the function time.clock, returns a floating point number that represents CPU time since the start of the process, or the time when the function is called first. So by subtracting the 2 time, you can get a number depicting the number of seconds taken to execute the statement. This is just a demonstration. If you explore more, if you try more by trial and error method, you can understand more about the code. As you can see here in this program, we are counting the number of steps taken for the execution. So first of all, we are going to, as you can see, we are going to call import time and import numpy, and numpy is being called as empty. Now here I will initialize the counter, and while I is less than 10, till I is less than 10, the start clock, time clock will start. And time clock defines the variables which stores in the clocking loop, the time value which start. I will then print the square root of %d, where %d is a decimal. Now I will be included, I is equal to I plus 1, and the counter will be incremented, and it will run till the x means till I is less than 10. Once I become equal to 10, the condition will be get false and we will exit it. Okay. Once exiting the loop, the AND is been printed, as you can see here. Hope it is visible. I will share the code with you so you can directly experiment it over the Colab platform. Let us run, and what is the result? Initially 0 is the square root of 0 means I is nothing but I. Here I have checked, as you can see, we are going to check the square root of each and every number. Execution time is 3.18 into 10 to minus 4 seconds. Then each and every time has been taken. Here, time taken for execution is nothing but time clock minus start time. This has to be mentioned. So how much time it has been taken, it will be different from each and every time. In a similar manner, up to 9, when I becomes equal to 10, the program exits. This is a simple example of understanding while statement, how while loop is considered. Note that the output time might be different for each execution, even on the same computer. Even if it is your system or your friends or someone else, or your colleague, the output time will change as per the CPU computation time. So each time taken to process line code is functional of the state of CPU at that particular moment of time. Okay. Also, in each and every one of you, if you are going to use Coca-Cola platform, then also it will be different from each and every one of you. So let us move further and we will check what is infinite. This is the last example of today's lecture. So if the logical expression always outputs the Boolean value is true, the program will never stop. And these loops are termed as infinite, since they will take an infinite amount of time for execution. One of the simplest example has been shown here in this particular code which I'm going to show you. So here, as you can see in this particular code, if it is visible, just here I have written a particular program to define an infinite loop where while the condition is 1, the print will be I. And in the initial statement, the mistake which I have done, mainly this is only for demonstration, but in actual case, many of the time this type of mistake occurs. So I have given I, initialize I with 1, and then I have and this loop will be executed until I is equal to 1. And let's see that if this condition becomes false, let's see whether it is going to work or not. Okay, so let's start our code and let's see whether it is running or not. So it is going to extend each and every time. If you can see that it is running here, it is never going to stop. Why? Because of this particular statement. If you can see here, it is never going to stop in this condition. The goodbye is never going to be performed. So let us stop here. This is one of the easiest way to explain the concept of infinite. The execution of, and you can see here that interrupt message has been shown, a keyboard interrupt, since it is online. If it is your system, then probably you have to close the Python module. Hope this example helps you understand what is the use of infinite loop. When can you use infinite loop? Now let's move further. So before that, let me just explain you this condition always, since in this particular code, the program to demonstrate a infinite loop, the condition always remains true and the program will never quit displaying the value I, which is always 1. It will never print the last line goodbye on the code. And sometimes if you are on Linux machine and if you are performing this particular demonstration, you can just press Ctrl C to interrupt the executing and come back to the command line. For Windows platform, there is nothing such. Okay. Now let's move to our next topic is while. So I know you are quite familiar with this looping type of thing. You know what is a while loop, and now let us move further. The while loop. Within a while loop, if statements are executed, if the condition produces a Boolean value true. Okay. Now using an else statement within this structure allows the user to route the flow of program with the condition returns is false. It will be more clear if I go for this example which I am showing here on the platform. Now in this particular example, if you are seeing, as soon as the code is for example, this is the particular code which we are going to demonstrate. Okay, while I is equal to, initially I have initialized I with the value 0. Now while I is less than or equal to 5, this is the condition. Okay, I should be less than or equal to 5. It will print I, and here the I is equal to I plus 1. Here it is actually uh, I is being incremented with the value 1 by adding 1 by 1 at each time of the execution. Once this value exceeds, means I becomes 6, this particular print statement will be printed. Okay. As soon as the incremented value becomes 5, the flow is handled by the statement under else condition. So this can be one of the use of, if you say, for this particular 15 minutes of time in the previous example. If you have executed with I is equal to 1 and time clock is 15 minutes, then you can actually add an else statement indicating if else. If time is equal to 15, then you can directly execute. Let's end the command. This example gives us a expression. Let us say up to I is equal to 5, and at the end the value now exceeds 5. Exit statement has been printed on this. Okay. So here, this is the last topic of today's lecture. This is in the previous lecture, as you know, we have talked about functions, and in today's lecture we have talked about loops. The functions enables the modular structure of program. Additionally, controlling the flow of information as well as iteration has become the very basic computational work in most applications. These two actions are performed by loops. Together, function and loops, they make Python a powerful tool for various applications. Besides this, having a modular structure makes it easier to test and debug. Mastering the skills of writing and the skill of choosing the proper loop structure is the key indicator for ranking a programmer's performance in solving problems using Python code. And so I think that this particular series will be helpful to you. This particular lectures will be helpful to you. So here we complete our lecture on loop. Hope you have enjoyed the learning and have a good day. Goodbye.